Ben was a key guy in organizing, come on, in organizing what's called the Progressive Party of Missouri, and I'm not going to give all the details, but in rescuing, in effect, rescuing the Green Party from oblivion at its beginnings. And so they pay attention to what he said. And without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Ben Kjelshus.
Well, thank you so much, Stephen. Even though that's really exaggerated, but it sounds good, I guess. Anyway, it was a real pleasure for me to introduce Stephen Zarlenga at the National Green Party Convention held in Reading, Pennsylvania in '07. This is when he conducted the workshop that he referred to on monetary reform. And the title was Greening the Dollar. And this provided the opportunity for me to introduce Stephen and the American Monetary Institute to a good number of green activists and to the Green Party, and then of course vice versa. What followed was a very productive development. Stephen and Dee Berry of Kansas City, Missouri, prepared a proposed plank on monetary reform for the 2008 National Green Platform. The proposed plank was approved by the Green Party Program Committee and was part of the proposed platform submitted to the convention for the delegates' approval. Unfortunately, the platform was not approved this past July, in part because of the opposition to a proposed plank on the immigration issue, but then also in part because of a complicated platform deliberation process. There was no opposition that was expressed on the monetary reform plank. Chances are very good that we'll see a monetary reform plank in an approved 2012 Green Party platform. Unfortunately, we may have to wait that long. And meanwhile, the Progressive Party of Missouri, which really is the Green Party of Missouri, really is in the process now of preparing and approving, and it will approve, thanks to a few of us, that we have in our state platform the inclusion of the monetary reform plank. It's very encouraging and timely that the Progressive Party of Missouri and the Green Party of the United States are incorporating the monetary reform plank in their programs. It's a natural development, I think, that this is coming about because the Green Movement and the Green Party embrace the core of green values, and these are, as I think a number of you know, ecological wisdom, grassroots democracy, social justice, and nonviolence. But also, considering that the Green Movement and the Green Party recognize an intuitive systems approach in seeking solutions to our ecological, economic, and social and political crises. A bit of history here. The early beginnings really can be noted to have started in New Zealand and Great Britain. But even so, green politics gained worldwide attention in 1983 in West Germany, when a colorful band calling themselves the Grünen entered the Bundestag and took seats as the newly elected members of parliament. They call themselves the Anti-Party, the political voice of various grassroots movements, the anti-nuclear, the peace, social and economic justice movements, there has been influences from the American civil rights and women's movements here in the United States. Now this initiative, integrative systems approach, really which is basic to green thinking, that was influenced by the politics of physics. The green emphasis on ecological thinking recognizes that everything is interconnected and interrelated. It is understood then that we are part of nature and not above it. Ecological thinking embraces all of life, and this includes the many dimensions of human interactions and social structures. We recognize a new vision of reality, which replaces the dominant worldview of our culture, which has been with us for thousands of years. The older worldview includes that we somehow are above nature and that we can exploit nature. It's there for our involvement. It's okay to engage in unrestrained economic growth. That human life is a competitive struggle for existence. We realize then that the root causes to the crucial problems of our time are pretty well based on the very structure in the political, economic, and industrial system, and on the belief system and the assumptions that underlie that. We're saying then that the many problem areas of our society are connected, so that the solutions also are connected. Therefore, we are saying that we need to move beyond dealing with just single issue problems. Greens then offer a politics that is neither left nor right, but in front. Therefore, from the approach of green thinking, we work on reforming the U.S. monetary system. We do so realizing the many crucial problems of our time, that they are interconnected and interrelated. The many problem areas that include global warming and its effects, the depletion of fossil fuels and the spiraling costs of energy and food, the reality of the American Institute, the unjust, obscene concentration of wealth and income, and corporate domination, the big corporations and the multi-billionaires controlling our work, our monetary system, our housing, food and agricultural systems, healthcare, the media, and we go down the line. Therefore, the major problems of our time are seen as elements of an overreaching crisis. The challenge for us then is to use an integrative systems approach to get at creative solutions to our current ecological, economic, and political crises. This calls for a third force in politics, a new kind of political structure that moves then beyond our current two-party duopoly, which is really a manifestation of our corporate-dominated society. The third force need not be an expanded Green Party of the United States, but I do say that the Green Party can be a catalyst, that because of our ecological principles, because of our value-based approach to politics, we can play a vital part in building a viable third-party movement. Considering the meltdown of Wall Street operations and the likelihood of a full-scale economic depression, an increasing number of us then are seeing the crucial need for a third force in politics, a viable third political party. There's a pressing need for a campaign to achieve progressive unity, and there are many opportunities present to build such a progressive, viable political party. And I think the American Monetary Institute and the Green Movement, the Green Party, have a great deal to offer in this endeavor. And there are several other very progressive organizations and groups that need to be involved. 3 organizations come to mind, and there are others, of course, come to mind that can provide a great deal in this process of building a progressive political force. One is the Program on Corporations, Law, and Democracy. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. POCLAD. POCLAD works with existing groups to launch democratic insurgencies to cause corporations to be subservient, to end corporate domination, to help people contest the authority to govern. Another is the Liberty Tree Foundation for the Democratic Revolution. It is rooted in the belief that the American Revolution is a living tradition, whose greatest promise is democracy. Its purpose is to build on the accomplishments of earlier American movements by launching a new stage in the American democracy. And there's a third group, and this is called the Natural Resources Defense Council. This organization is one of America's leading environmental organizations. There's a current article in the Nation magazine by James Gustav Stuff, if I pronounce it right, entitled Progressive Liaison. And he writes, this is his last paragraph, which is saying, really building on what I'm saying. A sustained dialogue is urgently needed among the 3 communities, and he's referring to environmental, the social and economic justice, and the political reform movements and communities. He states, a sustained dialogue is urgently needed among the 3 communities, which I just referred to build a common agenda for action and a shared commitment to build a new social movement for change in America. We are all communities of a shared fate. We shall rise or fall together. In closing then, from the approach of systems thinking, recognize the interconnections of the serious problems we face and recognize the solutions can also be connected. We are challenged then to take on an active, crucial role in the political arena. This means, of course, a lot of work for us to do. It means working with many progressive allies. I close then with a green statement, which reflects the green value of ecological wisdom. If there is to be a future, it has to be green. Thank you.